Hello, everyone, and wow, first session right after lunch break, so that means you're all either energized or you're food coma right now. I'll just go with the first one, right? But no, I'm really excited to be here today. I mean, for me, actually the first in-person keynote for a while. So thanks for joining here today, and thanks for joining everyone online as well. So let me start with a question. Who of you likes to be wrong? Who of you likes the feeling when you've tried something and it didn't work? Who of you likes to fail? Anyone? Yeah, of course not, right? I mean, no one will raise their hand because, let's be honest, failing is hard. Failing is painful. Nobody likes to fail. But what we know at the same time, failing is part of our lives. But when we look back, we've been told our entire lives that failing is not something desirable. Just think about school. And yes, I'm totally taking you down a walk on memory lane right now. So anyone here in the audience who was not good at history? A few. Okay, we have a lot of smart people in the room. I like that. But so I'll totally add my hand to that, right? So history was kind of my weak spot. So the two of you who were not good at history, think about a moment when you failed a test, an exam in your history class. And everybody else, any other exam that you failed in school. Just think about it. What did your teachers, what did your parents say? Did they say, "Oh, this is good. This is great. You will learn from this. Failing this exam is an important step in your journey to success"? No, of course not, right? That is not how our school system works. In school, we are being told not to fail. But then we enter the workforce, and all of a sudden, things change. All of a sudden, we're being told that failing is good. All of a sudden, we're being told to embrace failing. All of a sudden, we're being told to fail. And that is actually good, that is important, because we do know that failing is important. We do know that failing is an important part of growth. And we also know that when you fail, you can reflect on it and you can actually gain experience that will help you overcome a similar situation in the future. But how do you bring these two together? Right? In school, you were told, no, failing is not good, don't do it. And then at work, you're all of a sudden being told, yes, now in your professional life, it's good, you should fail. So how can you embrace failing if you've been told your entire life not to? How can you see failing as something good, as something helpful, that you can get something out of it, if you have been told to avoid it your entire life? How can you really see failing as an important step to growth if there are so many unpleasant feelings that come with it? So what has really helped me is the realization that everybody fails. Every successful person had to overcome failure at some point. There are actually a lot of companies out there, they wouldn't exist if it wasn't for failure. For example, Elon Musk. Elon Musk, right? We of course all know, one of the most successful people on this planet. When he was 25, he applied for a job at Netscape, which was kind of like the biggest browser at that time. Did he get it? No. They rejected him right away. So he had to come up with an alternative plan. What did he do? He started his own company. So he actually took that failure and he turned it into motivation. But he didn't have to wait long for the next moment of failure, because when he wanted to become CEO of that company, he started out as a CTO, well, the board denied it. And it's actually fascinating. If you have some time, just go online and look it up. There's a long list of failures that Elon Musk had to overcome in his life. And there are some people that say, he is so successful today because of all the failures that he had to overcome. Because of all those moments when he had to be resilient and focus on the next step and focus on the learnings that he could get out of these failures. Or Walt Disney. I mean, we all know Walt Disney, right? I mean, Mickey Mouse, Donald, we all grew up with those characters. Before Walt Disney started Disney, the company, he worked at a local newspaper in Missouri. And he got fired. Any idea why? For not being creative enough. Walt Disney. I mean, just think about this, right? But it's not just famous people like Elon Musk and Walt Disney that have failed. Because sometimes when you read these, right, this can feel like stories. But actually, every single person fails. Let's take my career journey as an example, right? This is how it looks like on LinkedIn. One career highlight after the next, steadily going up. Nice, right? I mean, do you know what it actually looked like? Like this. A mix of ups and downs and ups and downs, and definitely sometimes more downs than I would have liked them to be there. For example, my start with Microsoft was actually pretty bumpy. Before I joined Microsoft, it's been quite some time now, over 12 years, but before I joined Microsoft, I worked on the agency side, so I worked with a special events agency. And when I decided that this wasn't the right place for me anymore and I decided to move on, I started to apply for new jobs. Do you know how long it took me to find a new job? How many applications I had to write? 10? 20? I wrote over 50 applications at that time. So over 50 times I got a no, I got rejected. Or actually sometimes worse, right? You don't get any answer at all. And I have to say, now it's easy for me to talk about that. But at that time, right, every time you write an application, every time you go for a job, you get your hopes up. And every time you get the no, it's kind of like a smack in the face, right? And it's like, it's not fun. And then I finally got the call back, number 54. I kept track, right? I had a list because I wanted to keep track of my applications. 54, and that was Microsoft. And that's how it is for every person. Every person has moments of failure. We just don't talk about it enough. So the realization that everybody fails has really helped me to see failure in a different light. What also helps me is to give myself time to process those unpleasant feelings that come with failure. Because when you fail, do you feel good in that moment? No, right? You feel like a failure yourself sometimes. Sometimes you question everything that you have done until that very moment. So what I do when I have a moment of failure and I'm really struggling, I put my running shoes on and I get the heck out in the middle of the workday. This is for me really the best medicine. Sometimes paired with a glass of wine then at night. But this really for me, it's my way to put distance between that situation and myself. And then at night, I can sit down and really assess the situation with a clear mindset and really think about, okay, what can I learn from this? What can I do differently? What also really helps me is to talk to someone. And this sounds so easy and so simple, but it is so, so important. And that someone can be a friend, it can be a mentor. Why is talking to someone so important? Not just because you have someone who can have your back and cheer you on, but what I have realized is that in order to talk to someone, I actually need to reflect on the situation already. I need to structure my thoughts. And by doing that, I am already halfway there. And then I can pair that together with the advice that my friend, my mentor is giving me to really see something positive in the situation. So does that mean that I like failure now? Does that mean I like now to fail? No, absolutely not. I think it's very painful actually for me. But I can now see those moments of failure as an opportunity for me to learn, as an opportunity for me to get something out of it and do it better next time. So you are here today because you have all failed. You have all overcome failure in the past. And let's be honest, being a leader, being a founder, there will be more failure. There will be more moments of failure. in the future for you. And for me, definitely as well, right? And some of those will be easy, but some of those will be harder. And so what I want to challenge you today is when you meet someone new today, or when you have a coffee chat like today with an old acquaintance, an old friend, don't just share your moments of successes. Also share your moments of failure with them. And I promise you that both of you will get something out of it and will help you to be more resilient in those moments of failure going forward. Thank you.